Xiaomi has launched several smartphones this year, and this includes the impressive Redmi 7 series, the Redmi Note 7 series, and the Redmi K20 phones. I reviewed the Redmi Note 7 and I absolutely loved that device. It's one of the devices I actively use till date, although right now I'm trying out the Pixel Experience ROM on it. Now the Redmi K20 and K20 Pro are more impressive phones, but cost-wise, the Redmi Note 7 and Note 7 Pro were better deals in my opinion because of their price to value ratio. Now there's a new series of Redmi phones out there, and that's the Redmi Note 8 and Note 8 Pro. In this video, I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and this phone is regarded as one of the best phones Xiaomi has launched this year. So in the box you get the usuals, the Redmi Note 8 Pro, a USB-C charging cable, a transparent TPU case, an 18-watt charging brick, and some paperwork. Now, as the name suggests, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is the successor to the Redmi Note 7 Pro, which had a good design, but the Note 8 Pro takes it even further. Now the Redmi Note 7 and Note 7 Pro were one of the best looking Note phones from Xiaomi, and the design of the Redmi Note 8 Pro is even more beautiful as it's inspired by the Redmi K20 series. And if you've seen the Redmi K20 series, then you understand what I'm talking about. Now the Redmi Note 8 Pro looks absolutely nothing like a 100,000 naira smartphone. It looks premium, it looks expensive, and it looks very classy. I really like the design of the Redmi Note 8 Pro. The smartphone not only looks elegant and premium, but its well curved edges add to the overall look of the smartphone. Now, my only gripe with the Note 8 Pro is that it's not as compact as the Note 7 and Note 7 Pro, where it's a bit bulky and will be difficult to manage with one hand. The camera bump also protrudes more than I'd like, but that's not a deal breaker in any way. Now the phone includes a fingerprint sensor at the back panel within the camera module itself, which gets confusing sometimes, as I often think that the fingerprint sensor is one of the cameras. But you also have face unlock here if that's your thing. Now let's talk about the display on this phone for a while. The screen used in the Redmi Note 8 Pro is really good. I've had this phone for about 2 days now, and I can say that the screen here offers great multimedia viewing experience in most, if not all, lighting condition. In indoor lighting, about 40% of screen brightness level is fine for normal viewing, and while outdoors, keeping the brightness around 80% is sufficient to see all that I need to see on the screen. Now the Redmi Note 8 Pro comes with a bigger screen compared to the one in the Note 7 Pro. It sports the biggest screen ever in a Redmi Note series. The Redmi Note 8 Pro packs a 6.53-inch Full HD Plus screen with a resolution of 2340 by 1080p and a screen-to-body ratio of 91.4%. And just like on the 7 Pro before it, the 8 Pro also comes with a dot drop notch screen, but the design of the notch here is different and just looks much better than what you had on the 7 Pro. Now for users who don't like the notch, you can simply head on to the settings and hide it. Let's talk about performance here. I played a couple of games and watched videos on YouTube, movies on Netflix, and also browsed social media apps like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on the 8 Pro. And in all scenarios, the Redmi Note 8 Pro was able to handle them with ease. Now, this is thanks to the all-new G90T gaming chipset powered by MediaTek in the Note 8 Pro. Now, some of you out there might think and squeeze your faces and say, what, a MediaTek chip? But hold your horses. The G90T chip here is an all-new improved chip from MediaTek that's got really good performance. It's even been compared with last year's Snapdragon 845 chip, and it's just about 13% slower than the 845. And that says something about this processor. Now, gaming was smooth and you can get HDR and ultra settings in games like PUBG. At no point did the Redmi Note 8 lag or show any signs of stutter. Playing PUBG and Asphalt 9 on the Redmi Note 8 Pro was a joy, and they worked pretty smoothly on the smartphone. However, I must mention that during long gaming sessions, the phone gets slightly warm. The Note 8 Pro comes in three configurations: 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and you've also got 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. I'm using the entry model of the bunch with 6GB and 64GB of internal storage, but there's also a micro SD card slot that allows you to expand the storage space by up to 512GB. Now, one of the best bits about the Redmi Note 8 Pro is its battery. The Redmi Note 8 Pro packs a 4500 mAh battery, which is the biggest ever in any Redmi Note phone, hands down. The Note 8 Pro lasts easily for one full day in a single charge, and the good thing about the battery department of the phone is the bundled 18-watt fast charger. The Note 8 Pro takes about 1.5 hours to fully charge from 0 to 100%, which is pretty impressive in my opinion, considering the 4500 mAh battery. Similar to the 7 Pro, the 8 Pro also comes with a USB Type-C charging port. For the audiophiles, you also get a dedicated 3.5mm headphone port. Yay! And now let's talk about the cameras. For the first time, a Redmi Note phone comes with 5 cameras in total, 4 on the back and 1 in front that sits inside the notch. Now, get this guys, this is the first smartphone from Xiaomi to come with a 64 megapixel camera. But how does the 64 megapixel camera perform? Is it better than the already great 48 megapixel that we had in the Note 7 Pro? And point of note, I really like the camera on that Note 7 Pro and Note 7. They were absolutely incredible, and using Gcam even made it better. Well, the cameras here are better than the great cameras that we had on the Note 7 Pro. And the primary camera here uses a 64 megapixel image sensor, and the secondary camera is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and the third is a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and the fourth is a 2 megapixel macro lens. And they all take very impressive photos in most lighting conditions. For selfies, the Redmi Note 8 Pro uses a 20 megapixel camera. Now, the Redmi Note 8 Pro takes detailed pictures with accurate colors in good lighting conditions, as well as low light situations. If the scene is too dark, there's a night mode that allows the camera sensor to capture more light and create brighter results. For me, I just use the default photo mode with the main camera to take my pictures, and it produces really great results with a lot of details and spot-on colors. Now, there's a 64 megapixel mode available in the camera app, although I really couldn't tell any difference between the photos taken with the 64 megapixel mode and the photos taken in the default photo mode. I also took several macro shots with the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and they were okay. Nothing too impressive there anyway. I hardly take macro shots, so I'm not sure I'll be using this often. The 20 megapixel front-facing camera of the Redmi Note 8 Pro also does a pretty good job with selfies. The smartphone takes detailed selfies in good light, but in low light the camera tends to miss out on some details. For those of you who like filters and all, you find a lot of that in the camera app, so there's no need to install third-party apps to achieve that. In conclusion, the Redmi Note 8 Pro runs MIUI 10 on Android 9 Pie and should get upgraded to MIUI 11 on Android 10 really soon. So, should you buy the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro? Definitely yes. The balance between features, build, price is just too hard to ignore. Now, Xiaomi is one of the fastest companies to push out software upgrades in recent times, so you should be okay with updates and upgrades as the case may be. If you're looking for a premium design, a classy looking smartphone that offers powerful performance, sports a long lasting battery life, and takes really impressive photos, I really think that the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro ticks all those boxes and deserves to be called one of the most compelling devices in the 100,000 naira price bracket. Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do that today to support this channel. And if you have any questions about this device, you can leave them in the comment section of this video. Like and share this video, and I'll see you in the next one.